The modern fitness industry tells you that more volume equals more growth, more exercises, more sets, more days, more time in the gym. 6 days a week, 2 hour sessions, high volume splits. But here's the problem. For a natural athlete, that model is biologically flawed because muscle doesn't grow in the gym. It grows when you recover from the gym. And if you never fully recover, you never fully grow. So let's make it make sense. The first thing I want to get into is the biological recovery debt. Every hard training session creates what I call recovery debt. You disrupt muscle tissue, you tax the central nervous system, you increase systemic inflammation, you deplete glycogen, and you elevate your stress hormones. Now the body has a choice. Does it invest energy into survival or invest energy into building new muscle tissue? Survival is always going to win. So if the body perceives constant stress, frequent training, high volume, and inadequate rest, it prioritizes repair and stabilization, not growth. That's why so many lifters train 5-6 days a week and look the same year after year. They're constantly in a state of repair, never in a state of overcompensation. So there's a critical difference between stimulating a muscle and creating the environment for it to grow. Stimulation happens quickly, but the growth actually takes time. So let's get into the single set to failure principle. High intensity training operates on a very simple principle. One properly executed set taken to absolute muscular failure is enough to trigger maximum adaptive signaling. Let me explain why. So muscle fibers are recruited according to demand. When you take a set to failure, meaning another rep is physically impossible without assistance, you have fully exhausted available motor units. That is the growth signal. Anything beyond that point is redundant and often destructive. Additional submaximal sets do not amplify the signal, they amplify your fatigue, especially central nervous system fatigue. And the CNS is the master regulator of recovery. When the CNS is overtaxed, strength stalls, sleep quality declines, motivation drops, joint aches increase. You do not need 5 sets to grow. You need one set that truly matters. But here's the catch. Most people never reach true failure. They stop at discomfort. They stop when it burns a little bit. They stop when the movement slows down. True failure is technical breakdown despite maximum intent, meaning you're going your hardest and you cannot get this weight to move. But to reach it safely, you want to use a controlled tempo. Don't swing the weights, control it. Use actual muscle tension. Put the tension on your muscle. Eliminate momentum completely. Momentum is an outside force. You don't want it assisting you. You want your muscles to do the work. Maintain strict form and continue pushing until another clean rep is impossible. You don't have to let the workout degrade into something where you're just moving this weight around like all silly. So that's how you make a 30-minute workout more effective than a 2 hour one. It's all about the intensity, right? So now that we have the intensity down, let's go ahead and go over the calculus of rest and growth. So we're going to talk about recovery windows. And actually, for most trained individuals, muscular recovery takes somewhere between 48 to 96 hours. But systemic recovery, especially neurological recovery, often takes longer. Mike Menzer was controversial for suggesting that some trainees may require 5 to 7 days before training the same muscle again. And at the time, that sounded extreme. But in 2026, it sounds intelligent because new data on systemic fatigue shows that connective tissue and nervous system strain accumulate faster than we once thought. That is why training a body part once per week is significant because it allows complete muscular repair, glycogen replenishment, connective tissue restoration, nervous system recalibration, right? So for most people, 3 to 4 total sessions per week should be the maximum. You can do upper, lower, rest, repeat, however you figure out your split to hit your muscle groups once a week. But there's something important here. A lot of people, especially those with busy schedules, make significant progress with only 2 sessions per week. Two, if those sessions are intense enough to justify recovery. That's the key. Intensity determines the frequency. Low intensity demands high frequency. High intensity demands low frequency. So if you train properly, once per week per body part is often ideal. So now that we've gone over intensity and we've gone over the calculus of recovery and growth, I want to go ahead and just point to you guys some early signs of overtraining. Most people don't recognize overtraining until they plateau, but the signs show up a lot earlier. Subtle indicators can be persistent joint stiffness, declining bar speed, poor sleep despite being exhausted, irritability, reduced appetite, and even loss of pump response, right? So these are nervous system signals. Your body is saying, I'm still recovering. Instead of adding more volume, you should remove it. Respect your body. Instead of training more days, you should extend rest days. Stop scheduling workouts around a 7 day calendar cycle. Schedule them around your recovery capacity. In the 1970s, heavy duty was considered radical, brief, infrequent, intense. Today, it aligns closely with modern recovery science. We now understand a lot more about myonuclei activation, systemic inflammation, hormonal response curves, and neurofatigue accumulation. We also have wearable strain tracking, HRV monitoring, sleep tracking, readiness scores. And what do these tools consistently show? High frequency, high volume training creates chronic strain. Lower frequency, high intensity training creates powerful adaptation cycles. Less noise, stronger signal. Even longevity research supports this model. Chronic stress accelerates aging markers. Brief acute stress followed by full recovery enhances resilience. Less is not lazy, it's actually strategic. So, I'm going to give you guys a blueprint for lifelong progress. If you want to transition to this model, here's how. Step one, reduce training frequency to 3 sessions per week, or even 2 if life demands it. Step two, train each body part once per week. Hit it hard, hit it precisely, then leave it alone. Step three is going to be to consolidate exercises. Instead of 4 chest movements, pick 1 or 2, execute them to failure, and that's all you need. Step four is going to be to track your strength progression. Strength is going to be your primary metric, not your pump, not soreness, not sweat. If your reps or load are increasing week to week, you are growing. If they are not, you're either understimulating or under recovering. Step five, develop the discipline to stay out of the gym. This part is psychological. We've been conditioned to equate effort with time spent, but effort is intensity, not duration. Muscle growth is a biological process. It requires stimulus, nutrition, rest, and time. If you interrupt that cycle constantly, you never allow it to complete. The myth of more has trapped natural lifters for decades. More volume, more frequency, more exhaustion. But biology doesn't reward excess, it rewards precision. 1 set to failure, once per week per body part, 3 sessions max. 2 sessions can even do the work. Full recovery, progressive overload, and repeat. When you shift from chasing fatigue to respecting recovery, you don't just grow faster, you grow longer. And that's how you build a physique that lasts decades, not just seasons.